Rise and grind and shine. I am Goddess Demira 9. I am Demi G. I am Demira the astrologer. Ooh baby. I have been studying astrology for a few years now. Going on 7 years. And I found some information out that I'm really pissed about. Okay. Every day that I study, I think about astrology and the things that I study, I'm just putting it together with my life, my children's life, certain events that happen. Because astrology is the study of a person's personality traits, characteristics, also current events. I have 2 children, and they both was born by C-section, a scheduled C-section. Okay. Now, the time of birth of a person's matter. A person's time of birth matters. It plays a major part in a person's life. There's 1 to 12 houses, which is constellations, which is zodiac signs. My firstborn son, my water bag broke with him at 1 a.m., May 16th. May 17th. Okay. I made it to the hospital maybe around 2. He was not, had a window open, had to kill a bug, a bee. But like I was saying, the time of birth matters. My son, my water bag broke at 1 a.m., May 17th. But when I made it to the hospital, I was in a lot of pain. And I was not dilated. But the doctor waited 18 hours to take my son. And when he was born, when he came out, he had yellow around the whiteness of his eyes. And he was 6 pounds, 8 ounces. If he would have stayed any longer, he could have died. Now, by me being a studier of astrology, I'm aware of the houses. Okay. A person's time of birth really does matter. The doctor waited for 18 hours to take my son so that he could be born under the planet, basically. After 6 p.m., that is the night babies, and that's when the sun, of course, is under the earth. If the doctor would have taken my son sooner, I would not be, I'm always on my son about finding a job, finding work, because he was born in the sixth house Virgo, which is work. Okay? But he's a fixed sign. So that means not too much movement. And that's where the lazy part coming at, you know. He's not lazy, it's just the doctor took him at 7 p.m. If the doctor would have took him sooner, he would have been born in the first quadrant, which is self, or even the fourth quadrant during the daytime, which is playing a major role in life. The doctor waited till my son was born in the third quadrant, which is the domestic quadrant. Okay. The doctor done that purposely, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that this happened to. The doctors who become doctors, because I went to medical school back in 2009. Yes, you have to study the medical information, but also you have to study astrology. Okay, so I went to school for medical and I learned medical first. And then I got into numerology, learned that, and astrology. So doctors have to learn astrology because in astrology, all of the planets, zodiac signs, houses, the constellation is connected to our body system. That's why the doctors ask about the time, your birthday, when you go into a new place, But they have all our records. They have all of our records. Depending on what time someone was born, that puts them in a certain house. So let me read the sixth house. That's the house my son was born in. That's Virgo house. Okay? It's the house of service, of health, often called the house of service to others. It indicates your need to help others and to be useful in the world. In the old days, it governed a person's attitude towards servants and those of inferior standing. In the modern day, this house rules your relationship with the people you work with those who are subordinates and your employers, and with your employers. The sixth house also relates to your state of health and especially implies to illness brought on by worry or emotional upsets. This house often signifies whether you have a robust or delicate constitution and what kind of disease you may be subject to. I just recently, not too long ago, Took my son to get a checkup. He's a Taurus. Taurus is the neck and shoulders. Okay. I went to the doctor and he got a checkup. The doctor said he has thyroids in his neck. The doctor was like, "Come here, let me show you." And I couldn't feel what the doctor was trying to make me feel. Okay, now this was a European immigrant doctor. Now that I know all this information, I cannot trust them anymore. Because I have Virgo energy in my chart, and my son is in Virgo house, the 6th house, and he has Jupiter in Virgo in the 10th house. So that triggers something to make, oh, you need to go work because he was born in a house of work. You got to work, you got to work. If he was a mutable sign, maybe that would be okay. But he's a fixed sign, and fixed signs are stubborn. Okay, so the doctor purposely took him from me at 7 p.m. Okay, and put him in a house of work. And I think that a lot of doctors done that to our boys. And my daughter, she was born in the public, in the 10th house of career. So they would rather females be out working and the males at home and getting into it with their people and getting put out. And it's not their fault. It has a lot to do with what time someone was born on, what is in their 6th house of work. If you or someone that had a scheduled C-section, you are possibly in the same situation. If you had a natural birth and the doctors couldn't stop the baby from being born, or they waited, they waited, they wanted to wait. They tried to choose your child's fate. That's what they tried to do. That's what they did. And I'm really looking into doing something about this because I was on a verge 2 years ago of kicking my son out the house. All because of something that I thought he should be doing, but he physically can't do due to what time the doctor took him. Depending on what time the doctor took him in the house that he was born in. So please don't kick your children out the house. Try to find out what's really going on by an astrologer, what time your child was born, what is your child's purpose. Because my son is a Taurus, his moon is even in Taurus, and his north node in Taurus. His Mercury. So he's a full Taurus. It's just that if the doctor would have took him between the hours of 9 and 12, or 9 and 11 a.m., That's the fourth quadrant. That person is going to play a major role in life. My daughter was born in the fourth quadrant. Actually, the fourth quadrant, that's Capricorn, which she is, and Aquarius, the 11th house of hopes and wishes. I'm just really pissed at this because I got up, and I'm like, I woke up in a whole different energy today. Like a whole different energy. And let me right quick read the 10th house. Because whatever, now he sits down and plays the game. Okay. And the 10th house is Capricorn of career, public standing. Its opposite house, the 4th house, rules the home. The 10th house rules all matters outside the home. Your profession, your status in the community, and your public reputation. It has been called the house of ambition, aspiration, and attainment. This house also reveals in what esteem you are held by others. The 10th house reflects your image as shown in the power, position, and honors that you may achieve. It is an outward expression of your talents. The way you accept responsibility, the place you arrive in through your own efforts. This house has a great influence on your material success in life. Astrology been around before even the Bible. Okay? The planets was here first. Okay? So, with me knowing this, I wouldn't doubt that the people who's in a position that they're in, the doctors, I wouldn't doubt that the doctors, chose their fate and chose their time of birth so that they could be in those positions. Okay? Now, I remember on a Jay-Z CD, he was talking about when he was born and his time of birth. And he did mention 10 a.m. I'm going to have to look back, but I think it was 10 a.m. And that is the house of hopes and wishes. That is the house of different groups of people. Technology, fixed air, unconventional, Aquarius house, Saturn and Uranus house. These doctors, these European immigrant doctors, gotta go. I wouldn't doubt that they're the cause of our community of people, my community of people, doing what they do. It's their time of birth. The third house is the neighborhood. That's where all the crime happened at, right? It was purposely done. And I could argue this in court. United States of America, they got some paying up to do because they cause a lot of stress and trauma in our community. They are the reason for all of this. And I could say that because I studied. Now, when I was born, the doctors couldn't slow nothing down. They couldn't stop anything. I was born naturally. That's what my mom told me. I was born naturally. They tried. But they didn't slow me down. They couldn't slow me down. I came right out and like I'm here. And as I was growing, I started going, my first time in jail for shoplifting, stealing clothes, I was 15. All because my mama didn't have. And why she didn't have? Because the system did not pay her mom reparations. The system did not pay my grandma mom reparations. It's all about generational wealth. Everything was done purposely by these European immigrants, and they should not be able to lead nothing in our country or on our planet. They've done enough damage. I am Goddess Demira 9. I am Demi G. I am Demira the astrologer. Ooh-wee, baby.